How are you? Yeah, the hungry, right? Okay, do you want to be in my selfie? All right, then if you want to be in my selfie, you have to stand. That would be, if you want to be in my selfie, you have to stand. Come on, here we go. Ready? Leadership! Yeah! Woohoo! I got you. All right, so, yahoo! I am your last speaker. And then you get to have pizza, also known as pizza, as we would say from where we're from. So let's hear for pizza. All right, so I will know if you check out. And if you check out in the next 25 minutes, then you're last in line for pizza. Look at me and smile. 25, what? So, yeah, I get to kick it on in. And here's the things that I know. I know you're hungry. I know you've been sitting for a long time. I know that you're like, really? One more speaker? And yes, that is so true, all of those things. So I am going to ask you to kindly, I know you're like, oh, I just want to get my phone out and check all my messages. I'm going to ask you to put your phone underneath your chair. Oh, did she really ask me to that? I'm addicted. I know, me too. I even wear it on my wrist. So yeah, if you could do that, that would be awesome. And then Mindy said it from the very beginning. Somebody saw something in you that brought you here. And here's what I think. To add to that, the coolest thing is you said yes. That means that you're actually buying into a little bit of somebody believing that you have potential because you said yes. You didn't go, sorry, Mr. AD, but I'm busy and I want to go to math class. Okay, so with that being said, would you please stand? Everybody gets to play. And on 3, all I want you to do is turn around and high five the person behind you to say congratulations. 1, 2, 3. All right, check it out. How many of you actually high-fived somebody else other than the person behind you? Yes, you did. You because when you turned around, they should have been facing the other way. But you're like, wait, I don't want to diss them. So that says a lot about you. So please go ahead and have a seat. Thank you for standing. And because you have been sitting a little while, you've been hearing some amazing people share a bunch of different stories and passions and beliefs and all those kinds of awesome things. So I want to continue to engage your brain just a little bit. Are you ready to play? Okay, that was kind of weak. Are you ready to play? Yes, okay, good, because I like to play. So here's what's going to happen. I just want to engage your brain for a second. So is it okay if we have a little bit of fun for a moment? All right, because some of you are just staring at me. Look at the ceiling. Look at your lap. Look at the ceiling. Look at your lap. Please do that 3 times fast. Is it okay if we have a little bit of fun? Okay, yes, that's the universal sign for yes. Okay, good. That was for those of you who are staring at me. What? Fun? So I'm going to state a word, and I would like you to repeat the word 5 times loudly. How many times? 5. Soft? Loud. 5 times loud. So I'm going to say a word. You're going to repeat that word 5 times loudly. And then after the 5th time, I'm going to ask you a question. Your role is to answer the question. And it's a little like word association. If I say up, you say. If I say in, you say. All right, so a little word association. So, are you ready for your first word? How about now? Are you ready for your first word? Yes, Deb, we are. Okay, so your first word is silk. Silk, 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 silk. What do cows drink? Water. All right, but they do produce milk, so I'll give you half a point. Some of you got that. That's good. All right. You want to do another one? Go like this. Yes, Deb, I do. Okay, so your next question, this was easy. You'll get this one. Your next word is most. Most. What do you put in the toaster? Toe bread, some of you said. Yes. It happens. Some of you did say bread. You get a few points. Some of you said toast, and some of you said toe bread. Whatever that is. I don't think I want to eat that, but whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and finish strong. Because we like to finish strong, because we like to win, right? So we'll finish strong. Can we do one more? Yes, nice. Okay, so here's your last one. Wicked easy. Want you to finish strong. Everybody's going to get this one. It's not rocket science. So your last word is spot. Spot, 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 spot. What do you do when you come to a green light? Stop. You go. That's a bummer. I got you. So my next question is, by show of hands, how many of you drive? Okay. So at a green light, usually means go. Usually means go. And so thank you for playing. Was that fun? Yeah, that was fun. Woo! So here's what I know. You're here, you're wrapping up a leadership conference. You have somebody who acknowledged the fact that you have a lot of potential, and as you've heard, potential's just potential. And so you've heard some great things, talking a lot about leadership, and we're wrapping up our leadership conference. So let's do one more thing for me. Would you please go ahead and take out your pointer finger? Whether you're lefty or righty, doesn't matter. And I want you to play 100%. So would you please go ahead and point to the ceiling? And I want you to look, oh, that's a good one. Did you guys see what you're like, raw? That was awesome. Nobody went like this. That's your teammate that you go, wait. That's that face that you saw earlier, like. So, yeah, here we go. So let's go up really high. Don't look at the lights. You'll see dots the rest of the day like you do if you're up here looking at those dots. And I want you to imagine that you have a clock on the ceiling. It's your own clock. So whether you have Roman numerals, regular numbers, don't look at me. Look at your clock. There you go. And so if you have a clock on the ceiling, on the face of the dial, please find your 12. And then go ahead and drop down, find your 3. Find your 6, up to your 9, back to your 12. Look up at it. Keep going around the dial of your clock. What direction are you going in? Yes, that's a good answer. Everybody gets 10 points. And so keep going. Start bringing it down, but you're looking up at it. What direction are you going? Clockwise. You're not looking at me. You're looking up. And then bend your elbow. Keep bringing it down. Keep going around. Look over it. What direction are you going? Counterclockwise. How does she do that? That's so good. That'll mess with you a little bit. Yup. Whoa. So while you do that, you're like, I love Deb. I love Deb. It happens. I'll give you 30 more seconds to play with that one. You have 10 more seconds to play with that one. All right, your time is up. Hands down. You're like, whoa, that's so cool. So you can bring that one home. Maybe mess with your family a little bit. I don't know. But why do we do that? Here's what's really cool about being part of this day and about being part of all of these people. And let's face it, some of you play sports against each other and you're from different schools and all of that. And so you've been hearing a lot of great things today about leadership. And I know I heard all that, be a better leader. Okay, coach. What does that mean? What does that mean? And so sometimes we can take a topic like leadership. And we're like, oh yeah, I know that one. Be a better leader, whatever that means. And then sometimes when you look at it from a different perspective, things can take on a whole new meaning. And that's what today is all about. You've had several different amazing people come up here and share experiences and share information with you from different perspectives. And so hopefully that taps into every single one of you somehow, some way, so that we can start maybe looking at things from a different perspective. So I want you to please take out that pointer finger for a moment again. Don't point at anybody. Remember your mom says, don't point at people. It's not nice. Okay? And then that book that you have, imagine this is a pen. And then that book that you have, would you kind of close your eyes for a moment, pretend that this is a pen, and would you write down all the things that are right with you? Earlier, Coach Wynn had said, hey, I am statements. And so now I want you to go ahead and add to that and write, what are the things that are right with you? What is right with you besides the fact that you're a good athlete and that you're maybe a great student athlete? Besides your student athlete, what's right with you? So please go ahead and write that down. Don't talk to anybody, just write it down. You don't even have to tell anybody. And when you have 10, would you raise your hand? I'll wait. What, 10? 10. When you have 10, raise your hand. How many of you have 2? How many of you have less than 10? Look around. I know you have heard this today. You've heard it in different variations. But by a show of hands, let's be honest, I'm throwing some truth serum at you right now. By a show of hands, how many of you would be willing to admit that you spend more time thinking about what you don't have, can't do, and you're not good at, versus what you do have, what you can do, and what you are good at? So here's some really good advice. Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to listen? Okay, you need to stop. Boom, that was easy. Yeah, and so here's our challenge. You've already been told this. You believe yourself more than you believe anybody else. And once you start telling yourself something 7 times, you start to believe it. And so be careful of your self-talk. These are things you know. You've heard these things in athletics and all of that. You've heard these things. And so be mindful of what you are telling yourself and think about it. Because I also know if I asked you, hey, what are some qualities that you admired in some of these speakers? What are some things that you admire in people that you feel are great leaders? You'd tell me confidence, loyalty, and you'd make that list, and you can't make that list about yourself, and I'm not trying to be mean. But people are not going to buy into you if you can't buy into yourself. And you're never going to buy into yourself if you keep telling yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not wise enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not short enough. Whatever it is, you will start to believe it, both good or bad. And I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. Name's Deb, get it? Yeah, Deb. That was a good one. Not trying to be Debbie Downer. However, you also know that out there, there's always going to be somebody smarter, somebody wiser, somebody faster, somebody taller, somebody stronger, somebody with more likes, somebody more retweeted her. There's going to be people there. But the problem is when we sit here, because here's what I also know that you do. When you sit there and you think about what I don't have, what I can't do, what I'm not good at, nobody wants to be around that, because then on top of that, I also know that you're probably comparing yourself, and there's no win in that. There's no win in comparison. These are things that you know, but you do it anyway. Why do you do it? Because we all have that, you heard before, leadership is a learned skill. It's not something that you're born with. You do not come out of your mother's womb, leader. You don't. Some of you are like, Deb, I did. Maybe a little bit, 30%. Okay? But what you are born with is the desire to belong and fit in, to be part of something bigger than yourself. And for people like us, athletics gives us that. Be mindful of what you're telling yourself, because your teammates aren't going to buy into it if it's negative. We all know we want to be around people who are positive, people who are like-minded, people who are going places. Those are feel-good moments. Nobody wants to be around a Debbie Downer. And if we recognize that builds our self-confidence, not your cockiness. Because here's your other fear. Well, I don't want anybody to think I'm cocky if I write down the good things about me. Great, then just keep beating yourself up. But something amazing happens when you start believing and buying into yourself. You actually do stop comparing. And then you're mindful of all the things that you can do, that you do have, and that you're good at. And there's this humble peace. And that's when you're willing and able to serve and be that servant leader. Because the focus is taken off yourself, because the confidence comes in, the self-worth comes in. How do I know all of that? I was that kid. I was blessed with the ability, like you all, is I had a little bit of talent, and there were some people who realized I had some talent, and thankfully, they're like, hey, you got to go to this thing, or whatever it is. I was able to play 5 years of high school sports, and it wasn't because I stayed back. Just saying. I had a little bit of talent. I had a teacher who was a coach who threw a glove at me. You're going up to the high school, you're going to play ball. You got some talent? You're going. Coach, I'm not going. They're big up there. Not going. And the cool thing is it's two-sided. I knew I would make the team. But here's what you didn't know about me, is that I was raised by my mom and my stepdad. 9 kids, 1 bathroom. Yeah, youngest. That's why I'm defiant a little bit. Had to fight for the bathroom. But you're like, whoa, but life was good. I was blessed with the ability. My mom was able to stay home. There were 9 kids. My mom had 6 kids. My stepdad had 3 kids. And life was good. Lived on a farm, had 6 horses. By the time I was 5, I had my own horse. I was Jessie the cowgirl. And my brother and I had a lot in common. He was 6 years older. He was 6'2". He got the tall gene. Thanks, Mom. Okay, 6'2", got the tall gene. He was your quarterback. He was your basketball player. And I was your scrappy second baseman. But if I asked you, bring to mind somebody in your life who has caused your life to be better besides a parent or a grandparent, who would it be? To me, it would have been my brother. My brother invested in me, and that was always a really cool thing because, see, life was good for me, and my mom always said, you too, I think you were born with a ball in your hand. And because I just always wanted to throw a ball, kick a ball, hit a ball, be the ball. That was just how I was wired. And it's true. And so were you. And so was my brother. So we had that in common. And the blessing in that is that, unfortunately, my world got a little rocked at the age of 7. And so when I was 7, I had just finished first grade. And I was it was summertime, going into my 2nd grade year. And in August of that year, my mom was 36 years old. She went to the doctor, and she never came home. She died of a blood clot that went to her heart. I am not the only person in this room who has lost a loved one. It makes life different. It makes life different. And so thankfully, I had a large family. Not everybody has a large family, but I had a large family, and I had a brother who had said, hey, I know you're missing Mom. Let's go throw the ball. And so that was pretty cool. And my sisters made sure that, my hair looked okay. And I'm like, well, I brushed my hair. I just want to go play ball. And so Mom turned 36 and passed in August of that summer. I was 7. 6 months later, I was 7.5, and my stepfather went to work one day, and he never came home because he was killed in an accident, and he bled to death. That'll rock your world a little bit. That'll cause you to think differently unless you have somebody teaching you and training you like you have had all day today to be careful how you think. And for me, thankfully, it was my brother. Hey, I know you're missing Mom today. Hey, let's go throw the ball. Because at 7.5, I met my father for the first time. And so now I have my dad, who I've never met before, so obviously he wasn't interested in the first place. And then I have a stepmother. And when we moved into that house, my world was rocked just like that. And at any given moment, any single one of us, Your world could be rocked, and for some of you, it already has been. And again, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. You are going to face adversity. You are not going to get through life without challenges. But are you going to lose your identity because of your challenges? And be careful, because sometimes we throw it into athletics, and then the athletics becomes your identity. And if you get hurt or injured, like you have heard, where's your mindset? Because see, what you didn't know when I moved into that house with my father, we had 2 refrigerators in our home. One had food in it, the other one had a keg in it. In our kitchen with a tap on the outside. I'm not the only person in this room. If not you, then somebody you know, one of your friends, one of your teammates, you might not even know, that are abused either physically, verbally, or mentally. You're an idiot. You're stupid. Why are you out here? I'm not picking you up at practice. 5 years of high school sports, and I never had a parent at a game or practice. But thankfully, I had people like you who patted me on the back, made me feel like I belonged, made me feel like I fit in. Oh, great hit. Oh, what were you thinking? And you know what? Your parents cheered for me. They didn't beat me up if I made a mistake in the car on the ride home. And I know some of us, we hear that. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to your parents, but you've been hearing it all day about our community. The positive. Because, see, we don't know. But what we do know is that everybody is facing a battle you know nothing about. That person sitting next to you, behind you, we don't know. I went home after school. I didn't know if dinner was going to be on the table, under the table, or even if there was dinner. But you know what I had? I had somebody like my brother, like you all do have somebody. For me, it was my brother. Deb, don't lose your identity in this stuff. I know this is not a fun place to be. I know, and of course he had little different words. He goes, but listen, what are you going to be? What are you going to do? What are you going to be, a victim? Are you going to wallow in this? What can you control? You can control your attitude, Deb. What are you going to be? I'm going to be a lawyer, and I'm going to lock mean people up. Nice. Let's do it. Now I'm the leadership lady. And so we'd write it down. And he'd remind me, hey, what are you good at? We'd write it down. So by the time I got to that 8th grade and that coach threw that glove at me, I knew I would make the team. Like I said, I didn't know how I was going to get home. 2 weeks after I made that team, I went home in my kitchen only to have everybody stare at me for about 45 minutes, and finally somebody said, hey, somebody needs to tell her. Tell me what? Deb, there's no easy way to tell you this, but Terry was killed today. And that was my 6'2" brother. That was, I got you, sis. Don't you dare listen to Dad. You're going to be something someday. You're going to make it. You're going to get out of here. This is not how you have to have your life. I got you. Let's write it down. And you heard today earlier, too, you heard Bree talk about writing things down. It's very powerful. Because, see, statistically, I should be an alcoholic, abuse my children, or be dead. But I'm not. It was through athletics that made me realize, and I didn't know it at the time, that desire that every single human being has. It is not gender specific. It does not matter whether you got the tall gene, the short gene, the long hair gene. It does not matter the color of your skin, your religion, your nationality. Doesn't matter what sport that you play. Every single human being that you ever come across has the desire to belong and fit in, not to be ripped apart. And you have no idea what their imaginary sign might say. But do understand they are facing a battle you know nothing about. And on any given day, it could be you. And like I said, I know for me personally, it was really nice that I have teammates that made me feel valued. And that's what athletics gives us. That enhances our self-worth. It enhances our confidence. When somebody makes a mistake, pat them on the back. We'll get them next time. Because, see, my dad always told me that I was stupid, I was an idiot, I was nothing, and I probably wouldn't even graduate from high school. And college, don't even think about it because we don't have any money. Awesome. Some of you have the opposite parent. You just don't know what they're hearing at home. So, here's what I know. I had that opportunity. I also had a sister who was 2 years older than I that never was involved in anything. And when we're involved in something, we are more likely to succeed. And she never got involved in anything. She had a skin disorder. It's like a fish. Scales. Tuna. Funny. Words do hurt. And they'd call me Guppy because I was her little sister. The difference, I had my teammates looking out for me that helped me believe in, even after my brother had passed. My sister, not so much. Sophomore in high school starts with the red cups. Water bottles turn to vodka. Marijuana turns to the hardcore stuff. And I have buried my sister because of those things. So be mindful on who you're dealing with because you don't know. And be mindful of what you're telling yourself because on any given moment, you will face some form of adversity. But if you decide before you get there, you won't quit. And you're worth more than quitting. You've been hearing it all day. So I dare you to not just be this one more, oh, that was a great conference, I got out of school, cool, I didn't have to take my math test today. But to be careful about how you think, and more importantly, how you treat others, because it will come back to you tenfold. And I appreciate, especially being the last speaker, your ability to listen and pay attention and putting your phone under your chair. Have a wicked, awesome rest of your seasons. And now you ready for pizza? Thank you.
Now you know, test. Now you know why I saved one of the best for last. Give Deb a big round of applause. Give it up. Wait a minute.
We both want to be in it.
All right, be in the selfie. Stay there, everybody. There we go, gotcha.